What up, T?
What's up, D? How you doing?
Hey, man, welcome back. Another episode of Movies with the Homies. This is episode number 12. And folks, you ain't gonna believe this, man. We actually got 13 minutes into this episode before I realized that T's audio wasn't coming through. And I'm like, wait a minute, this guy. So, yeah, this is actually dry run number 2. Or actually, that first one was a dry run. This is the actual show. So, yeah, T, my apologies for that. We're gonna go ahead and get right to it, though, not wasting any time. Let's go ahead and talk about this topic here, CinemaCon. We got a report card coming up, and we're just going to kind of breeze through this real quick. It's not a lot to talk about, but we do want to go over what happened. So CinemaCon, if you folks don't know, it's kind of a yearly annual exhibition where all of the studios and all of the theaters kind of meet up in one room and just talk about stuff and talk about the industry. And then each studio makes a little presentation to kind of get everybody hyped. They make some announcements and they see where everybody's going to be. And I think that that's important for this particular, industry, especially right now, coming out of a pandemic. We want to make sure that everybody knows what's coming, what's good, and everybody's making a, strong push to try to get folks back into the theater. So we got this article from Variety. It says here, CinemaCon report card, which studios wowed the crowd and which lacked sizzle. So first studio up was Sony. All right, so let's just talk about this real quick. Sony took a victory lap for Spider-Man No Way Home, as they should. That thing crushed it in the box office. And it proved to theater owners that the comic book characters are not only the studio's only superpower. It broke the news about Bad Bunny joining its extended universe of Marvel characters. And Venom is also returning for a third movie. It looked at Bullet Train, which is the new Brad Pitt movie. That's going to be dropping, I think, this July. T is not too enthusiastic about that. It mentions here that Viola Davis's historical action epic, The Woman King, was touted as a real-life version of Black Panther. I haven't heard of this character, but, we'll see how that goes. It also had an announcement that there would be a Ghostbuster Afterlife trailer. It doesn't, or excuse me, sequel. It doesn't mention that anywhere in this particular article, but it does get a final grade of a B-. All right, T, I know we already talked about this like about 5 seconds ago, but your thoughts on Sony? What do you think about Sony's offerings and how Sony is just doing as a studio overall?
I don't think they all. I don't think they're doing well as a whole, and I think they're in a tough position because everybody obviously wants to get to where Disney Marvel is.
Yeah.
And well, really, actually, it's Marvel, not even Disney. Disney's only had a few successes. They've had success with what Beauty and the Beast. I believe they had success with Lion King and Aladdin. They weren't
Yeah.
really good movies. They were just, oh, okay, I just want to see a reimagining of what, I already knew to be.
Yeah, that's really what those films were. Yeah.
Right, right. Whereas everybody else, they don't have that. They're kind of scrambling for things. It's the same old, man. It's, they're good at video games, and that's what they do. They used to be good at stereos and speakers a long time ago, but obviously things have switched.
Right.
When I used to have a face on my radio that I would take off every time I get in my car.
Yeah,
way back in
man.
the day.
Yeah.
I think them as a studio as a whole, they need to just realize, hey man, we're gonna build this thing from the ground up. Just start from scratch and just make it be what it is. We can't hit 1 billion. Don't have a number in mind. Just go out there and make good quality, and it's going to come. Your reputation needs to be salvaged. Right now, the movie industry reputation is no bigger than Marvel.
Yeah,
It's
that's
no bigger
true.
than Marvel, which is a problem. That Woman King thing, come on, man. That's got a hint of SJW. You don't call it Woman King. Just call it, hey, the Spectacular Lady or something. Stop this. They're trying to dance a fine line.
All these studios are, yeah.
Right. And it's messing the product up, man, as a whole. It
Yeah.
makes me, I'm disconnected to it. As a fan, as somebody who wants to pour my recreational money into something, I need to be connected to it. If I'm not connected to it, it's more than likely I don't want to see it. What happened when Black Panther came out? Black Panther came out because everybody was connected to it. You didn't have to be black to be connected because you wanted to see, hey, who is this Marvel character that's interesting? I saw
Right.
him in Civil War. Man, I want to learn more about him, dude. Let me see
Yeah.
what's happening.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of things that I think that these other studios don't have, and I know we're running short on segment, but what they don't have is they're not operating within the space of today. They're operating within the space of 30 to 40 years ago, where I couldn't look up on my phone. Oh man, let me Wikipedia that. The information is at my fingertips. I don't need to call 411. I'm right now. It's real time. I
Mm-hmm.
want real time answers. And
Yeah.
what they're doing is, please be stupid, audience. Please be dumb. Please don't do your research. And audiences are doing their research.
Yeah.
Audiences are coming out and saying, hey, man, I loved you with that character, dude. It should be great for an actor or a studio to be recognized as, hey, that's the studio that does this. That's the actor that did that. It's amazing, dude. I know Johnny Depp from Hanson on 21 Jump Street.
Right.
Great show.
Yeah.
Great show for that time. It doesn't work in this day and age because, hey, people have Facebook. There's no way you're not gonna have secrecy for long. You're not gonna have privacy. So I think that Sony as a studio stepping their game up. They're trying to re-engage with their fans in a way that's in their lane. They got the video games to go along with.
Oh yeah.
They're sitting on something there that could be really, really interesting. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you remember when that Spider-Man game came out. It came out the same year as when they did Into the Spider-Verse, which I didn't like, Into the Spider-Verse. But the video game did gangbuster numbers because everybody was like, "Oh man, it's awesome, man! I get to be
I get to
Spider-Man."
be. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
That's the
So
connection that these studios are looking for. I think they're trying to connect what else they do. You know, we have Sony, like you said, doing the video games. It's like, hey, if we could somehow connect our video games and our movie and then kind of cross promote that, video game, promote that in the movies promote that through the video games. I think that that's what they really want to see, cross promotion within their own brands. And then they can forward everybody to a streaming service where they can continue to enjoy it. Sony doesn't have one, but nevertheless, I think that's where they're trying to go with it.
yeah, but they have to have content. That's the thing. You can have your streaming service all you want, but if you don't have content daily,
Yeah.
you're gonna have daily content.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do more than one episode.
Or you're gonna
Release.
have to have like a big enough product where you can just, one like movie like a, Doctor Strange, which is about to come up. One movie just captures everybody's imagination and just dominates the scene for 2 or 3 weeks, and that can gobble up enough money for you to say, okay, now we can just focus on the next 2 years, and we'll do another one of these in 2 years, and then you bring three or four of them out every year. You got yourself a hit.
And they're gonna have to cut. They're gonna have to shoot hour-long segments
Uh-huh.
and cut it up. You're
Maybe.
gonna have to cut it up and market it that way. That way, I get 2 episodes at least. Boom, back to back. Okay, that'll tie me over to the next week after that. And you're gonna have to do longer season. You're gonna have to commit to your product. Because
Those are hard because you're talking about a lot of money to do long seasons, man. 10 episodes, that's about what these studios can afford now, man.
do it.
All right. Well, let's move on. We got some more studios to look at. The next one is Disney. All right. So it says here Disney doesn't put a lot of effort into CinemaCon presentations, and we're not going to spend a lot of time with it. And it doesn't really have to, because Black Panther, we already know that's the next big thing that's coming up after the 2 that have trailers right now. You got Doctor Strange, you got Thor. We know that those are coming out soon. So they're saying, yeah, we're going to have Black Panther. Avatar 2 obviously is coming up at the end of the year. They dropped a few little sizzle reels. They did Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness sequences. They dropped some Toy Story spinoff. Lightyear, of course. They dropped that as far as a little sequence. I think they showed like the first 20 minutes of that. And then they showed some information on Avatar, The Way of Water. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But yeah, Disney doesn't have to go over and above and beyond the Call of Duty when they're at these things, because they know, hey, everybody's coming to see our stuff anyway. If we didn't show up here and never showed you guys anything, you're going to put every single one of our films in theaters. You're going to put it in big lights. You're going to give it all the biggest theaters, and you're going to promote it. So we don't really have to do it, because they do the work behind the scenes. They do the work by making good movies, by having a good, solid, strong product. Fans love it. The people are here to see the next 3, 4, 5 Marvel movies. Now, me personally, I think Doctor Strange is going to tell us a lot about where Disney is at. If this movie knocks it out of the park, okay, Marvel Phase 4 is still all systems go. But if that film struggles, if it's not good, if it's kind of shaky, I think that Disney could be in trouble. Nevertheless, T, right now, what are you thinking about in terms of Disney?
I think Disney is good at what they do. Like I said earlier, I don't think that they have a product as a standalone for their brand anymore. I think they diversified. They're diversified, so they've invested in Star Wars. They've gone hard into
Marvel.
Marvel, and
Yep.
let the what's great about them. I gotta give it to them. Is the amusement parks are the amusement parks. Remember Disney were about the amusement park.
Yeah.
They're about entertainment and about family fun. I think they've got the space to really. I think the next 5 or 6 years is going to really be about family movies and animation.
Hospitality.
Right. That's
Yep.
what I see the studios going that way, and Universal all in. I see Universal getting ahead of the curve. Really, really dug their bet on. Hey, I need to entertain the kids.
Oh yeah.
I need to entertain the kids because I want the future,
Yep.
right? Whereas, the House of Mouse just kind of, gradually, I'm building it with this. But you ask most young kids, man, they're actually not into the Marvel superheroes, man. They don't care. That's for us fans as adults.
Well, I
So
think that they're starting to kind of find ways to onboard that younger subscribe. Like they got Miss Marvel coming up, so that's strictly going to be a kids movie. Remember, I said that looks like Stargirl, and Stargirl felt everything like a Disney Channel superhero movie. What's that?
Don't you disrespect Stargirl?
Hey man, I listen. I'm not even saying it might be a bad show, but it feels like a Disney Channel. You got to admit, man. You got to admit, it feels Disney Channel.
This is your genre. You like this stuff.
No.
Like that kind of
I like family. I like family films, and I'm not saying that this is bad, but I said that this is what they're doing now. Miss Marvel is their way of onboarding new kids. Okay, we got to bring kids into this, right? Because one of the problems that you have when you have an old, like you're just saying, Marvel is for us, right? Kids didn't buy comic books like we bought comic books. Nowadays, nobody's buying comic books. So how are they getting their superhero fix? They're going to the cartoons. They're going to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're going to the television shows, right? That's where they're getting. That's their version of comic books.
Cartoons. But where's the platform for cartoons? Where is it at?
That's Disney Plus. Disney Plus has their stuff. They're not doing enough. They're not doing enough. But what they are doing is working because they're going to continue to make money, okay? And kids are getting introduced to the Marvel Cinematic Universe at a young age. I was just saying this, like, imagine you're a 10-year-old and you came in watching your Iron Man with your dad and your brothers at the age of 10. Let's say you're 10 years old. Iron Man came out in 2008, right? So if you're 24. Yeah, 14 years ago. So you're now 24 years old and you might be starting your family. Guess what you're going to do? You're still into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? You're going to be bringing your children as time goes on. You're going to be bringing your kids to it. It's exactly what we did when we was watching, Star Wars. Oh yeah, I'm bringing my kids into Star Wars. Now my kids don't really care for Star Wars like I do, but nevertheless, that's what you do. And that's how you build that next fan base. But I think they need to continue, if they want to be successful, they need to continue to onboard new kids through the shows like Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel might suck. It might be terrible, but it's probably not going to be aimed at our generation. It's going to be aimed at, tweens. It's going to be aimed at younger kids. That's who that show is going to be aimed at. So I think from that standpoint, Disney is smart.
Let me tell you what that show's going to have, D. Because you and I are not going to be fans of that show.
Not at all. Not at all.
What that show's going to have is, I'm a smart kid, struggling to make friends. Oh, I got a cool friend, or I got an awkward friend. Let's just say the friend is going to be a special kind of friend. I'll let you guys fill in the blank for that. A special kind of friend that just everybody else ignores them too. They're invisible to the world. Both of you two wonderful, special people are invisible to the world. You struggle and you stumble upon greatness.
That's what we got, huh? Hey, you might be right. You might be very right about that. That's one. I don't know how that's going to work. We're going to check that out too. All right, let's move on from Disney. Let's go on straight to Warner Brothers now. Warner Brothers came into CinemaCon a little bit different than the other studios, and we was talking about this earlier because Warner Brothers had to come in kind of with their hat in their hands, making some mea culpas, because remember, they launched all of their movies last year day and date. So they launched them on HBO Max and in theaters at the same time. And I mean, the theater owners were probably looking at Warner Brothers like, bruh, y'all got some explaining to do, because you know you guys really took a lot of money out of our pockets by doing that. You might have helped your little streaming platform or whatever, we don't care. You hurt us, okay? So the theater exhibitors, they're probably a little upset. Nevertheless, the Warner Brothers came in. They had studio chief Toby Emmerich, you know, saying, hey, we knocked it out of the park. You know, they're talking about the you know, it said here, it spent last year putting new movies simultaneously to HBO Max, so they had to do some a little apologizing on that. But yeah, it goes on to say, you know, they announced the Batman 2 sequel. That was smart of them to do. They showed Margot Robbie and Barbie. Okay, that might be a pretty good little, I don't know how that's going to work out. You know, girls like little girls like movies, so yeah, maybe that would work out for them. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory prequel called Wonka. They talked about that. Elvis, I know Elvis is a big, whoa, too much. Elvis is a big movie that's coming up. I've seen the trailer for that. That trailer actually looks pretty good. Stars Tom Hanks as well, so I think that one's going to be a winner for them. And then, yeah, it says here, notably, the footage for Ezra Miller's The Flash played well despite his ongoing issues. And you know, Michael Keaton came in. His big reveal of his own bat suit kind of got everybody pumped up. So I think that Warner Brothers, and it got a final grade of an A, so that has to be good. I think Warner Brothers right now, second studio right behind Disney, and I think that they are in good shape overall. You know, they got HBO Max, they're doing well. You know, Warner Brothers Discovery came in and said, hey, we're going to change some things around. We're going to get to some of the changes that it looks like they're making right now. But what do you think about Warner Brothers and where they're at as a studio right now?
I think Warner Brothers is the same way they always are. They're just rinse, wash, repeat, recycle whatever they do. We're at the same point. I hate saying too. I'm gonna stop that, guys. It's a point that they don't need to emphasize doing anything different. We spoke about something earlier before our segment got cut.
Yeah,
where they're going back to Big Blue. You say one thing, but you do another. I'm happy that the Flash content went well. The actor that plays Flash, he did something stupid, but I still want to see the movie. I want to see them grow as a company beyond the superhero genre. It looks like they got a great slate coming on. How do you get faith in a company that doesn't seem to want to get on their feet? This new regime that's coming in is making a lot of swift changes because they know they can't continue on and upset their customer base. And I'm happy to see that. But you're talking, but I want to see some walking.
Yeah. I mean, we've been talking about it because as DC fans ourselves, you know, we've been really hard on Warner Brothers and DC to get their act together. But I think overall, I think they're in decent shape right now. If they can continue to make good products, they got to make sure that whatever they're doing and putting on HBO Max, that it works. Okay, can't have that. And mostly HBO does a really good job with its shows and its series. It really rarely messes up, but nevertheless, that's going to be interesting to keep your eyes on. Okay, and then lastly, I'm just going to touch on Universal. It says here, Universal knows its audience, catering to the movie theater owners and audience. They brought out employees from cinemas across North America to introduce everyone from Jordan Peele to Jamie Lee Curtis. So yeah, they got a lot to show. Universal really brought a lot of stuff. Okay, Jurassic World Dominion. Yeah, T. Remember Jurassic World Dominion? We talked about that at the beginning of the year. Remember that? Yeah.
What did I just get you saying? Wash, repeat. Nothing new. Nothing new.
We gonna see that afro. We gonna see that afro later on this year, though. I know that for sure.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a West Side. It's gonna be a Batman logo, man. Hey, look.
I think this.
No, you can go on with this story, dude, but it's gonna be the same thing. Oh, yada yada yada. We're going back to the same drawing board what we did 30 years ago. Yada yada yada. Guess what? We're gonna dress this person up to do this. No.
T, you're negative, man. This. Look at this. Rise of Gru is coming out. They're gonna have a new Puss in Boots sequel. Jordan Peele's Nope. Are you looking forward to Nope?
Nope.
I knew you was gonna say that. Let's see here. Billy Eichner's hilarious raunchy bros. That's supposed to come out, I think, also this summer. Idris Elba has a movie in Beast. Julia Roberts and George Clooney and a meet cute movie, Ticket to Paradise. I don't know. I mean, they have a lot. Universal throws a lot of stuff at you, because they got a lot of properties. People are probably not aware of how much Universal has, but their stuff is just kind of under the radar. It doesn't really like rise to the surface, except for a Jurassic World or something like that. I think Jurassic World is going to be, probably one of the top 2 or 3 hits of the summer. Probably just right behind Thor and Doctor Strange. I think that's where it's going to end up because it's the final one. They're bringing back. It's going to be nostalgia bait, obviously, because they're bringing back all the old characters. Smart move. They saw it worked in Spider-Man No Way Home, right? We saw that it worked there. I think it's a smart move to kind of say, okay, we're just going to play on everybody's nostalgic feelings. We're going to bring back all of these old characters. Bam, there we go. What do you think? Oh yeah, you already gave me your thoughts about that. Paramount, this is a short little break. It talks about Top Gun, but nothing really. Mission Impossible 7.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah, man.
Hulk Hogan. I'm gonna have to do your Hulk Hogan on that. What'd you just say?
It talks about Top Gun. It just says that was their top presentation at the festival, Top Gun. I think Top Gun is going to do a lot better than you think it's going to do, T. But nevertheless, folks, what do you think about CinemaCon and all the news that came out? How are these studios lining up individually? Is everybody doing their job? Are you happy or are you kind of concerned about 1 or 2 of these? Go ahead, drop down in the comments, give us your thoughts and your opinions. All right, let's keep going, T. We got another topic. So this next topic, and this is a big one, man. It is a big topic because, we know that Marvel just reacquired some of its major properties from Fox, and there's a big film that we're expecting to come out, and that's this one right here, Fantastic Four. And we got a little news this week that's might have some fans a little nervous. It says here Spider-Man director Jon Watts exits Marvel's Fantastic Four. So he's no longer going to be the director of this film. And the question is why, right? The question you want to ask is, wait, this guy's done very well. Marvel's obviously happy with him. They gave him, the keys to one of their biggest franchises. And so why is this guy bowing out? So I'm going to read through this real quick. It states right here, the exclusive, this is on Deadline. Jon Watts has withdrawn as the director of Fantastic Four, the reinvention of the venerable Marvel comic series at Marvel Studios and Disney. Watts just directed Spider-Man No Way Home, the Sony's Picture and Marvel Studios film that grossed $1.89 billion to become the 6th highest grossing film of all time. Right here, it goes on to say, nothing sinister here. Yeah, I don't know about that one. It says Watts just needs a break from the superhero realm after completing the Spidey trilogy with Tom Holland and Zendaya. He had expected to make Fantastic Four his next film, the 3rd feature iteration of the franchise and the first since Disney acquired Fox, which controlled the franchise. And basically, it goes on from there and just kind of talks about he confirmed his exit. He says it's amicable. Kevin Feige says collaborating with John with the Spider-Man films has been a true pleasure, and on and on and on. Watts says making the 3 Spider-Man films was an incredible and life-changing experience for me. I'm eternally grateful to have been a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe for 7 years. So here's my theory, because I'm not buying any of this, okay? I'm not buying any of this. I think that number one, and this is probably the biggest one, this is the one I think is probably the situation, is that this guy just doesn't want this property. I don't think he wants this thing because this thing has been toxic, T. This has been a toxic, tough franchise, and people are like, hey, when are they going to get the Fantastic Four right? The Fantastic Four is huge. When are they going to get it right? So number one, that's my first reason, is I don't think that this guy really wants to touch this particular property. T, what do you think about that?
I think it's true. You and I remember we discussed. We liked his take on the second Spider-Man movie.
Far From Home.
Far From Home, right? So
Mhm.
Far From Home, we really liked the third act, right? We liked when
Thought it was great.
stepped game up. The first movie was okay. Second movie was great. We're talking about the Spider-Man franchise.
Yeah.
And then the third movie was, it was a creative, interest put in it. I think that this is an important property for Disney to handle because Disney does family.
Mm-hmm.
And how do I do this? That's not his realm. Like, you actually make a comic book movie one thing, but now you want to make a family movie. I just saw how that Jungle Cruise movie. You're not even good at doing family movies anymore. Family movies don't do well.
Yeah.
They don't. They
I
they
mean, it
they just
depends on what the family movie is, and yeah, this being the Marvel's first family, yeah, you got to do this one right.
tell me which one of Disney properties family movies did well. Race to Witch Mountain? Which
Oh,
family
you talking
movie
about like Disney proper, like not them little
property?
spin-offs, just Disney.
Just
Yeah, I mean, Disney's kind of latched itself on to Marvel and Star Wars lately. They haven't really done like, hey, we're just making movies and doing our own thing. They kind of stopped doing that. I mean, there's Pixar, of course. I think Pixar has, been doing all right, but as far as like just Disney,
And
nah.
this is important to their brand. This is important to their brand. And I think what they've been doing is building us up with Hawkeye and
Mm-hmm.
you know iterations. You can kind of say WandaVision too. I think this Fantastic Four genre of things, he just, man, it's stressful when you don't get to do the vision that you envisioned. And you
Yeah.
having to take like, am I the director or I'm the guy playing the director? And it's just
Yes.
for him, he probably felt acting. I can't speak to him. I can only speculate. I think that it's just a tough property to try and engage. I got to
Yeah.
family fun film.
Yeah.
Uh, I gotta get kids in the seats. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And it's not a. It doesn't look like a family. That's not traditional about what you think today. You don't have family ties on TV. You don't have Family Matters. You don't have Growing Pains. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have George
Yeah.
Lopez. You don't have any of these family shows that really have a great take. ABC does things with what you had Modern Family that ran for years, but now different, man. It's just a different combination. And how do I sell that globally?
Well,
You,
so family in the sense of Marvel, with the Fantastic Four, we're talking about Reed Richards, the Invisible Woman, Human Torch, and then of course the Thing. So you have that family, and I think you could do that differently. You don't have to do like what Marvel would consider, or what you would consider to be a quote unquote family film. You can still make it a superhero film, but position it in in kind of a dysfunctional family that they don't kind of get along. That's kind of what they've done in the past with the
no,
Fantastic Four. I don't think it works, but
no.
here's the question now. The second thing, and I do agree with you, I think there may be some creative differences behind the scenes as to what Jon Watts wants to do and what Kevin Feige wants to do, because to me, for them just to kind of back out of a huge property like this, I think there's definitely some sort of creative differences behind the scenes. We saw that with Ant-Man, obviously with Edgar Wright. He wanted to do his own thing, and Marvel just said, nah, we're doing this. So then he checked out, and they brought in Peyton Reed. What do you think about that? Do you think there may be some creative differences in this situation?
I think so. You bring up a good point about Ant-Man. Ant-Man
Mm-hmm.
really got their first family film. I
Yeah.
think it just doesn't work for what they try to do. Remember, they tried to squeeze that in Iron Man 3. Doesn't work
Yeah.
overall. You can't do the Fast and Furious family, Vin Diesel family. You, you can't do that.
That don't
You
work.
sort of, but if you think about it, they sort of have they've been slow playing. Guardians of the Galaxy is a family film.
It
You
can
know,
be, yeah.
it's a
That's
family
I think
film.
that's the tone that that Jon Watts was probably trying to go with. He's probably trying to say, hey, let's do like Guardians of the Galaxy style where they're this family, and like I said, they're kind of a dysfunctional family, but they work together. I think maybe he wanted to do something like that, and I think maybe Marvel just said, nah, that's not really the movie that we want to make in regards to the Fantastic Four.
I don't
Maybe
think it can work. I don't think it can work, D, because
it might not, yeah.
remember, Eternals is basically a family film.
Yeah, and let's not talk about the. Let's not bring up that disaster.
It's a new age. It's a new age family film, right? It's a new age family film. But I'm just trying to give examples of
Hmm.
exactly what you're talking about. What may have
Right.
been the with John Watt. I didn't think Jon Watts was a great director in what he directed. I think that, hey,
Yeah.
like I said in Spider-Man, that Far From Home, that was the third act
The
was
third act was great. Yeah, I think the
great,
way it
right?
ended was great. Yeah.
Right. How am I gonna he's not good at telling story, like build up story. They're
All
not.
right.
That's why they skipped, they didn't have to do that in Spider-Man, Spider-Man retellings. They
Yeah.
didn't. It just was okay, moving right along, and meanwhile, which was great because you already had an origin story
Mm-hmm.
back in
Mm-hmm.
2000 with Sony originally, right?
I
You did
agree.
that
Yeah.
same thing with
Yeah.
the other the Amazing Spider-Man, which holds up to this day. It's the audience. How I think they should have done this. I think they should have went all in on the cartoon version by now and had that out. And that way you could have baked your cookies as opposed to saying, "Hey, the cookies already baked, eat it." That's not necessarily true. A kid that was born in 2007 or 2009 would be what? 50, oh, no, he's not 15, he'd be 13 years
13.
old.
Yeah.
13 years old. He knows the 2014 when he was 5, but he probably didn't even watch that.
Yeah.
So do something to, I don't know. He left. What most
Well,
people
now the
say,
question becomes who should take his place, right? So that's the big question right now. They've thrown out a lot of names from the Marvel Cinematic Universe that have already directed.
I know who you're going to say to give it to.
You already know who I'm going to say to give it to, but here's the names that they've thrown out so far. They've already thrown out Peyton Reed, okay? Peyton Reed, who's already done the Ant-Man films 1, 2, and 3. They're saying give him the job, okay? I don't think he's the right fit. That's just me personally, okay? I've heard the Russo brothers. They saying, hey, bring the Russos back, okay?
That's your pick. I know
That's not my pick. That's not my pick. You might be surprised who my pick is. I think the Russos would be a good fit though, okay? Because they're used to working with, big properties. Obviously, they did the 2 Captain America sequels. They did Avengers and Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. They know their way around the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think they would be great. Here is my choice, okay? And a lot of people are going to laugh, but I think this would be the perfect choice for the situation. Yeah, your boy John Krasinski. Huh? Give it to him and let him play Mr. Fantastic. That's what hey, look, that's the fans' choice anyway, okay? I think Marvel needs to go up to this guy's house with a wheelbarrow full of money and say, all right, come on, John, what do you want to do? You're the director, you're the star. Hey, get your wife, Emily Blunt, she'll be the Invisible Girl, and let's go forward, okay? I think this would be a genius move. I think this would be think about this, man. Think about the hype that would surround this film if John Krasinski, who's already done a great job with Quiet Place Part 2, the great film, both of them, and he's a great actor in and of himself. And then you bring his wife along. Of course, they have great chemistry because they're married in real life. So you bring those two, and then hey, go ahead and do whatever you want to do, John. Set this thing up any old kind of way. T, what do you think about John Krasinski being Mr. Fantastic and the director of the Fantastic Four?
I think that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
I watched Quiet Place 2 last week, and I was thoroughly impressed. Uh, I think they need to do. It's so exciting seeing the potential of what they can do because they have so many of their characters back with the merger and acquisition of Fox, that portion. I would love to see John Krasinski, and I want to see that dude. What's his name? The guy that played in Quiet Place. He played Scarecrow in it. He needs
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, I need to see him in Marvel's things, and I think Marvel's trying to go young with their actors. No, go with established actors, get them in, and make them mean something. Make them mean something. I think this dude being a director that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah,
brilliant idea.
You heard him, you heard him, folks. Marvel, you heard him. Go get your guy. Go get your guy. It's a brilliant idea, and I don't think you could possibly mess this one up. But folks, let me know what you think. Go ahead, drop down in the comments. who should take over for Jon Watts now that he's out of here? Should it be John Krasinski, or do you have another idea for who would be the best director for the Fantastic Four? Go ahead, drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think. All right, T, let's keep going. Let's keep going. We got another topic. Now, this topic is a just dropped this week, okay? And we've been talking about Netflix, and we're saying, hey, Netflix, they're in danger. They're having some struggles. They're having some difficulties. So what can they do in order to kind of turn the ship around, all right? And so there, I'm going to bring up this little icon here. You may recognize that as the logo for That's 70s Show. What does that have to do? Well, Netflix is going to do the spin-off That 90s Show, and they're going to reunite most of the original cast, okay? So let's read this real quick. This is from Variety. It says, most of the cast of That 70s Show is coming back for That 90s Show at Netflix, Variety has learned. So we're talking about Topher Grace, Laura Prepon, Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, and Wilmer Valderrama are all set to make guest appearances in the spin-off series. Once again, playing their characters from the original series. The only main character not coming back is Danny Masterson, and we know why. Yeah. So as previously announced, they're gonna go ahead and put this show, Kurtwood Smith and Deborah Jo Rupp, we know those two. They're also set to star in That 90s Show, reprising their roles of Red and Kitty Foreman. T, did you ever watch That 70s Show?
Hell no.
Wasn't a fan, huh? It was a popular show.
I don't want to see Happy Days without. I mean, without the 70s show
without Fonzie.
What you gonna do? No black people, and the black people you're gonna have are gonna come up with an afro and do this. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that watered down.
I'm gonna tell you that I wasn't a big fan of the show. I saw a couple of episodes and they were all right, but it was just something that I could pass upon. But the reason that I want to discuss this is just in regards to the whole Netflix situation as a whole. So we saw Netflix do this kind of, okay, let's go blast to the past. Let's drag Fuller House, right? They did Fuller House and they dragged that and they put it on Netflix, and that did pretty good. Like that actually did well. It was like a highly ranked show on Netflix for several seasons. And then, now they're going back to the well again. They kind of, picked up, what was the movie? Why can't I think of the name of this right now? The Karate Kid spin-off. What was it called? Cobra Kai. They got Cobra Kai as well. They threw that on Netflix. So they're kind of trying to go retro a little bit, kind of, play on the nostalgia. And that's what Hollywood does nowadays. They do a lot of play on nostalgia. Is this nostalgic enough though? I mean, this show just came out. It's not that old. It's not that old. We only talking like maybe 10, 15 years ago, I think. So I don't think this show really is, maybe not 10 or 15 years. It might be a little bit older than that, but nevertheless, it doesn't seem like it's that old. And for them to say, hey, we already got to go back to the nostalgia, this just seems like another misstep for Netflix. I think Netflix, they're missing the mark in a lot of different ways. Their stock prices are obviously showing this, but going back and trying to hash old shows, old ideas, let's turn them new again and see if we can capture some of that magic and capture some of those fans. I just don't think they're making the right decisions. I think they need, like I was saying before, a landmark franchise, something that they can build around, that is theirs, their own, and there hasn't been a lot done with it. Nintendo was my idea, but nevertheless, I think that's where Netflix is messing up. When you hear a situation like this where Netflix sounds super desperate, they're going to grab old franchises, or even some newer ones, and they're going to try to retrofit those for today's day. Is it even time to start remembering the 90s fondly? Is that where we're at right now? I don't know. Tell me what you think.
Can I just rip the Band-Aid off this thing?
Yeah, do what you got to do, man. You know how we do it here, T.
It's a dumb, stupid, nothing burger idea.
Yep.
You're going to show, let me guess, you're going to show an average American family struggling with everyday issues.
Yep.
About who ate all the peanut butter and who didn't put the bread in the refrigerator. Why do I want to see this? Show me something. And then if you're going to do any kind of cultural thing about, let me see black people, let me show these black people struggling, or dealing with drug. Oh, you've got a drug problem or something. Where you're gonna wear cross colors, you're gonna wear bows, use. It's another dumb idea, man. Spruce it up and show me '90s with something. Show me something where, show me something different, man. Just something, man. Show me some. Let me guess. Oh, some kid. Oh, he's a basketball. Let me have a basketball star. Let me have a football star. Let me have this. Why not show the kid that's saying, "Hey, man, I'm about to invest in Microsoft." And see what happens with that. Oh man, this kid is a day trader, and make him be something other than what you originally intended.
Yeah.
Do something different, man. Do something different so it's organic. This is stupid for them to do this.
I just don't think. Yeah, like I said, for me, I only reason I brought this up was really just to talk about like the Netflix angle of it and why this.
Man,
and they're showing right now why they're a failing platform and why their stock is dropping.
I don't know about their. I think they were good with Quiet. Quiet is good enough. I think that they had to do a maneuver to shake the room up because they've got investors and they've got things to meet. Now,
is this the maneuver?
They got to do something, man. It's a temperature check, dude. They're changing the password things or whatever, and they act like that doesn't exist. It just misappears. Yeah, misappears.
See, it's another to me. It just from my personal feeling, it's another one of these. Hey, we're gonna throw this up at the wall. It didn't stick. All right, that's what this is. Once again, they've ordered 10. Apparently 10 episodes of this thing.
For this. Are you checking for this, D? I'm not checking for this.
No,
I'm not checking for this. And you know what they were all good at? Hulu was very good at this, and Netflix was very good. They were very good at documentaries, dude, and other stuff.
They need to go back to that, yeah.
Right.
Netflix
go back to that model.
And they still do have documentaries on there, but they really need to like expand it, market it, really kind of like focus on that like a laser because I think Netflix, again, this is just another one of those, all right, we throwing it out there. And this is the thing that's getting the advertisement. Like, this is one of the bigger stories that they're talking about with, franchises that are coming up. So I'm like, so why this? Like, why is this the thing that you're marketing and you're not marketing a lot of the other stories and series that you're going to be? I just don't understand where Netflix is going with this. Maybe some people, maybe we're in the minority, T. Are we in the minority? What do you think, T?
Don't worry about it. I don't think that we're in a minority. I think that we appreciate good writing. You and I, at least. I think most of our audience and the audience, period. I think what they've done is put a new spin on things. They did what we used to hear about in the 80s and 90s. Man, there's this international TV market that nobody's tapping in on, and because the internet has brought everything so closer together with things that people say, well, okay, I'll do movie with subtitles, even though I can see their mouth moving, 2 different times later. We had that with Godzilla movies, right? But we still sat there and watched it, right? Yeah. Look, the theme of today's thing is, is rinse, wash, repeat. You've had to tap in. Nothing's the same. Hey, if you want a tip in life, just look back 30 years ago, look back 60 years ago.
Yep.
The same thing over and over.
That's running.
You're going to run. This is, look, there's no time variant but to control the stream. Let's get something else. I do not like this video. You call me negative man, and I'll take it. I take it on. The neg man. All right? I don't like this idea. It's a stupid idea, like the 70s show, like the 80s show, like the 90s show. What? Are you going to have the Chronic on there? Whoa, man. You know what they're going to say? You know what they're going to say this was? Snowfall. Snowfall's the 90s show. Or something else.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me something. This is a dumb idea. And I'm tired of reality TV shows too. Enough already.
All right, folks, what do you think about this idea? That's 90s show coming to Netflix. Is Netflix just desperate at this point, throwing anything they could throw out there, just hoping for the best? Go ahead, drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think. And T, we are going to move on to the next topic. Now, this one I already talked about in my own video, and it's about these folks right here at CW. And some major news dropped yesterday. Boy, oh boy, it's looking very, very shaky over there. So here we go. Batwoman and Legends of Tomorrow canceled Are CW DC TV shows in trouble? All right, so says here that there will be no Batwoman season 4 or Legends of Tomorrow season 8, the fate of Naomi season 2, and the overall Arrowverse DC TV show plans remain unclear. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of read through a couple of pieces of this. Like I said, I covered it yesterday, but I did want to hear your thoughts on it. So it says it's an unfortunate Friday afternoon news dump. The word is out that Batwoman and Legends of Tomorrow have both been canceled. The Batwoman news came from showrunner Carolyn Dries on a Twitter message, and she basically said, I'm bummed, full of gratitude. What an honor to make 51 episodes, and so on and so forth. And then it's a sad ending for the season that had really hit its stride. It really hit its stride, T, in the last 2 seasons after a troubled start behind the scene, which continued to boil over for 2 years. Still, the season 3 finale worked well as a series finale, and the Arrowverse TV shows are adept at bringing back characters from canceled shows. Okay, so we already know that. Then, a few hours later, word broke that Legends of Tomorrow had also been given the axe. All right. And this is from their little writer's room. We're canceled. This has been the journey of a lifetime for all of us. The little show that was supposed to be grew into the show that could be anything it wanted. We went to Camelot, Salvation, Hollywood, even inside a computer's mind. But of course, the real destination was always home, the place where your family and your friends are family. Isn't that sweet? That sounds such like a nice little touching little story. And then it says, despite the fact that it introduced beloved DC Comics time-traveling superhero Booster Gold in its finale, it ended on a tremendous cliffhanger. The series also spent final episodes giving many characters loving send-offs. So it sounds like they kind of already knew this was all happening and this was going to come. But yeah, I'm worried about these CW shows. Not worried necessarily, but I'm thinking that it might be a wrap for some of these shows, right? Because, it says here they still have The Flash, right? Flash season 9 is still coming. The Superman and Lois, they're still doing their thing. They're okay. Says Stargirl season 3 is also current and will arrive later this summer. It's not technically part of the Arrowverse, however, it has strong ties to HBO Max, so its fate seems unrelated to some of its network mates as of now. All right, T, your turn. Tell me what you think about this whole situation. What's going on with the CW shows, DC Universe, DC on TV? I had my thoughts. I want to hear yours.
I think they suck.
I knew you were going to say
Stargirl. Stargirl season 1 was great. They're notorious for doing decisions as a whole with these properties that don't make sense to the viewer. The fan favorites, they don't really play towards. They don't listen to exactly what needs to be here. I appreciate the effort, but I'm not getting the quality I need. I didn't like Supergirl. I didn't like Arrow. I wasn't into that.
Black Lightning?
Black Lightning was okay. Didn't I get canceled?
Yeah. I'm just saying, we're going through all of them.
Stupid. Yeah. It's hood thing. It was just stupid, man. It was dumb. It was dumb because it's not organic to the needs of things. And then where are the other? They don't know how to do synchronous. I would have, instead of Black Lightning would have been a great show to introduce Static Shock.
Yeah.
Great. If you would introduce Static on that, it would have been great.
That would have been awesome.
You have the audience built into where you want, but you do moves. Every time you think DC has got their stuff together, they do something stupid.
So is this a stupid move to cancel these 2 shows?
Legends of Tomorrow, stupid. Because they could have righted the ship on that. This is one of the first one that had a live action Vandal Savage. I mean, you had the Vandal Savage there who was like, he was maybe 5'10". Vandal Savage is like a 6'3", 6'5" dude that's imposing, a menace.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great villain that, you brought him to the big screen, the small screen.
I like that Vandal Savage too. I like that season. I actually like that season of Legend of Tomorrow.
I like him as a character on that.
I didn't think he was good, but I thought the show overall was pretty solid. That first season.
The show, great. The show was great. And then they went in a totally different direction. They had to clean up some obvious mistakes. I think whoever they're testing with isn't doing the test audience that they deal with is obviously not the overall audience. I think this move is a move under new leadership to just right the ship,
Clean
clean
the
house,
house. Yep.
just clean
Exactly.
house, and
Yep.
just man, we aren't doing this well at all. Remember, we talked about this off camera. They don't have anything to brand this with. You don't have the toy market. You don't have the cartoons.
Yeah.
Where is the cartoon platform anymore? And which they had, which was what, Cartoon Network, but
Yeah.
they don't go in that direction anymore. Cartoon Network was one of the first places that had Young Justice. Great show. You know what I mean? Also had,
I think streaming has kind of destroyed all of that though.
that's even more so for you to go all in. Go all in on your product. Somebody needs to meet the demand.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to be burning the midnight oil on this, so to speak, to make things right.
But you know,
Look,
T, but I was gonna say, you know, T, how we look at it, things from a standpoint of, okay, toys, you know, the cartoon sold to toys, right? But the kids ain't playing with toys no more, right? They play with video games. They got their iPhones and they're on those all day long. Kids aren't really collecting and playing with toys. Back in our day, you know, we get the toy and we play with it. You know, other kids nowadays, you're getting the toys, you're really collecting them. Hey, put that on the shelf and leave it alone. You know, that's how things are going these days. It's a different world, and I think that these companies are.
Everything repeats itself.
Hey, you know what? You're right about that. There might be some repetition coming soon, but I don't know if this particular, you know, these shows was built for that, you know, to build to sell toys.
Decoder ring. Why wouldn't you do some secret decoder ring right now when you actually have the means to actually do a decoder ring? Let me do something. Hey, folks, watch this at the end of the show. Even if they zip through it, man. They're interested in it, man. I got to know what the next thing is, man. Hey, we joined this club. This is a forum for this. Hey, I need you to make this happen. Stop trying to get these major online influencers to say, how many times did that work? Did that work for Quibi? Did that work for Quibi?
No, it did not work at all.
All that. Stop all that. Did that work for that girl they put on NBC? What Channel 4 they put her on after I think she replaced Carson Daly? She don't even remember her. Lily? Was it Lily Singh?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
She was popular, dude. They tried to put her on TV. That wasn't her forum. That was not her format at all. God.
All right, folks, and we're going to keep going with this because I got another piece of information. Now, it says there were two wild cards in all of this. The first is that the CW itself is up for sale. The Texas-based Nexstar Media likely to take a controlling stake. And then, of course, CW is owned by Viacom and Warner Media, with the latter's new corporate masters Discovery looking for efficiencies in the wake of their recent acquisition. Like you just said, they're cleaning house. They're getting all of this stuff, and they're saying, you know what do these superhero shows cost? It's probably costing a little pretty penny. Yeah, you know what? Hey, get that up on out of here. We can't keep doing that stuff because this thing doesn't make the ratings, okay? People can get upset about it, but it just didn't have the ratings to justify its existence. You know, if you are a highly rated show, it's like, okay, we could use this to sell advertising. We can sell to our advertisers. Our sponsors are going to say, hey, man, can you get me a spot on that Legends of Tomorrow? I really want to put some, you know, put my product out in front of a lot of faces, and you guys have, you know, like 6-7 million people every week watching this. These shows were getting less than 1 million people a week. It's like, come on, like you can't keep going with this. You can't keep going with this.
You saw that Naomi?
I never saw it. And again, like I checked out the CW stuff, but it says, yeah, it was executive produced by Ava DuVernay. That's the little person up there. And
dope person. I heard she's super dope.
She's probably cool as hell. But I'm saying that the reality is when it comes to her products that she puts out there for consumption, I'm not feeling it. You know what? I'm not feeling it. And thank God she's not doing the New Gods because I was nervous about that. But there's one more piece I wanted to bring up. Go ahead with your thought. We're going to switch articles.
Be fair about this. Everything doesn't need to be a home run, but it does need to be a good effort.
It needs to be an effort, yes.
Some of these things they're not good effort shows. They are mediocre, man. They're very, very average.
Yeah.
They
don't understand what the fans want. My thing is they don't understand what the fans want. They don't know who their audience is. They don't know who they're selling products to. They think they're selling products to some people, and you just said it. Whoever's doing their test screeners and you know, hey, go ahead and watch this. Let's see those people are failing them miserably because whatever they're telling them, oh yeah, this is great, we love it. No. But see, look at this right here. This is
no longevity in it.
Right.
It's got no longevity in what they're saying. Yeah. It's short term. It's a sprint. Instead of doing this thing like it's going to be a marathon, and it's just not. It does not hold up.
it's not resonating with the fans. Now, it does resonate with some fans, and you can see this article right here. Fans start a petition to save DC's Legend of Tomorrow. So I just thought this was like, hey, some fans still do love this show, and they're trying their best to save it. They want to at least see the final season finished up somewhere else.
Horrible. That show is horrible. Some of the stuff they have pigeonholed into this. It's so awful. It feels so forced, man. Like, I don't even know who's on that show. Like, oh man, like it just is just, I'm here. And everybody's attractive. I'm attractive and I'm doing boy. In an age where people have cell phones, video cameras, you can't have secret identities. That's the one brilliant thing about the other guys. At least they say, man, you know what?
Everybody knows who these guys are.
Everybody knows who these are. Just not pretend.
There's no secret identity. I think that just saved them the trouble of having to write all of that stuff into the script because they didn't want them to have. But anyway, folks, that's it. This little petition started on change.org. A fan has started a petition trying to save it. So they do have some fans. I don't think this thing is going to work. They only have 2,000 signatures so far.
You didn't start the petition?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't start the petition.
I started the petition. I started it. Sorry, guys.
It says here Alexis Sullivan created the petition. All right, folks, what do you think about the cancellations? You heard my thoughts. You heard T's thoughts. Go ahead, drop down in the comments. Give us some suggestions, some ideas on that. And all right, T, let's keep going. Next up, Avatar. Man, so it's finally here. Okay, we've been talking about Avatar for the last this movie came out, the original came out in 2009, and so here we are 13 years later. All right, Avatar 2 first images reveal what James Cameron has spent 13 years working on. So this guy's been at this thing for 13 years trying to give us the best sequel that we've ever heard of, right? That anybody's ever heard of. Now, James Cameron is James Cameron, okay? Let's not take anything away from the man. Whatever he does well, okay? The man has made some amazing, amazing films, and he's one of my top 10 directors. If this guy makes a film, I'm going to come out and check it out, no matter what anybody says. However, it's been 13 years. And it says here, 4 new first look images arrived from Avatar: The Way of Water, showing off the adventures of the Na'vi on and off the coast of Pandora. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and skip through most of this because this is just kind of filler and fluff. They're talking about who's in the movie and what's all about and all that kind of stuff. We're gonna skip all the way past that. We're gonna come right up to these pictures. Here we go. All right, so here's the pictures, and you can kind of see it here. If I can, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. There we go. We can kind of see most of them. There we are. So the Avatar: Way of Water, you kind of get an idea of where he's been, like, kind of making things look more realistic. And I gotta say, man, these pictures do look good. Okay, these pictures look really good, very realistic, photorealistic, and we know this is all like CGI, special effects, and everything like that. So I think James Cameron has got something cooked up very special for us. Okay, 13 years, and when you sit back and think about it, every time James Cameron comes back strong, right? We saw how he did with Terminator. Terminator's a good movie. Came back stronger in T2, right? And then you saw Aliens. Alien wasn't his, okay? That was, Ridley Scott. But then he came in and he did Aliens, the sequel. And that was bigger, that was better, that was an explosive movie. Now we're talking about what does this guy have in store for us after 13 years for Avatar: The Way of Water. T, are you getting excited for Avatar? Because I know I'm starting to get a little excited for this book.
Oh, the same movie that you said was Dancing with Wolves?
I said this movie was Dancing with Wolves, but again, it was still a good movie. It was watchable, it was fun. But I'm thinking now, James Cameron, he's had 13 years to sit back and come up with all of these crazy little kooky ideas, and he's gonna bake up a delicious cake of awesomeness. I am looking forward to this, T. What do you think? Are you getting hyped?
I'm not hyped, but I know it's gonna be a good movie. I learned to, I got turned off from James Cameron because of that damn Titanic movie. I'm tired of hearing about the damn Titanic. I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I think that damn thing. How does a big ship crash into an iceberg in the middle of nowhere? Just dumb.
Why the conspiracy theory? Everything is a conspiracy theory with you. Golly.
This thing is going to be phenomenal. It's going to deliver as promised. The original Avatar holds up to this day. There's nothing else to really say. I mean, this guy's a proven winner, dude. The only misstep he had was that Terminator Salvation that he kind of, not Salvation. What's the last? Genesis? No, not Genesis. Which one was the last one?
Dark Fate. Yeah, he told everybody Dark Fate. He was doing them a solid.
He backed away easy from it.
He was doing them a solid. Yeah, that was a bad movie. He should have never said that about that. James Cameron is a legend. I mean, man's an absolute legend.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, they were trying to hook on to him and say, "Hey, James, say something good about our movie so people will go and see it." That's what it was.
But D, look, this is gonna be a good movie. Can't wait to see it, man. I can't wait to see the sequel that comes after it. Look, you know, it's James Cameron, dude. It's James Cameron. Now, will it hold up today? Will remain to be seen. They put a lot of money in this, so they're gonna expect a lot of return. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Look, you know, for somebody, but you know, he was so hard. I think he was hard on some of the comic book genre that he came back and he switched it up. Yeah. Which he's basically doing his own self with Avatar. He's going back to the well. You can do something else. Like
I think the reason is he had more stories that he wanted to tell. I think he liked this, you know, world and universe that he created. And he's like, look, I got a couple more stories deep down. I want to keep telling some stories in this world. And, you know, like I said, just the photos themselves, I'm going to try to click on it and see if we can zoom in on it. Not really. This is the tweet, but it doesn't really, you know, make a big, oh, okay, there you go. All right, so you can see it's a little bit bigger. It's like a little creature or something underwater, and then there's somebody holding its hand. You know, that's dope, man. I mean, this guy, he knows how to make these films come to life. Even though this is all CGI, you're just like, whoa, look at that, look at this. He's like, I don't know if he's like on some kind of a beast or something, riding it with wings in the air or something like that. That looks awesome. I mean, these shots are just truly, truly amazing, and I think that James Cameron, for the most part, has something special cooked up for us. He's going to wow us. He's going to surprise us again. People have been writing this film off for a couple of years saying, man, it's way too late. Can't go back and do Avatar 2 now. I guarantee you, folks, James Cameron got something for you, okay? This guy never disappoints, and he got something for us. So we're going to see. I'm going to go ahead and close that out. T, any last words on the Avatar sequel? Nah, all right, folks. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Go ahead and drop down there, and we're going to keep going. Next is the last topic of the day, and that's about Doctor Strange. All right, so Doctor Strange and Marvel and all of that have been running into some trouble lately, and in the country of China, and it seems like once again they've gotten banned. So Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is none likely to get a China release following online backlash. So this is, again, I think Marvel, and it goes on to say this in this film, it's talking about as a particular scene in like a fight scene. I think it's the one in the trailer where he kind of cuts the bus in half. And it says here that the opening bit of the sequel, where a newspaper kiosk bears the Chinese characters for the Epoch Times, an international multi-language newspaper and media company which opposes the Chinese Communist Party. So that's this is interesting. This is really interesting. Disney has really gone out of their way, in my opinion, to really play nice with China with all the things that they've done. And yet and still China's like, nope, we're not going to show any of your films over here. And you can see going back here, it says here, what followed amid the pandemic was the apparent blackballing of Marvel, Black Widow, Eternals, Shang-Chi, and The Legend of the Ten Rings, Venom ain't even by Marvel, but nevertheless, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and Spider-Man No Way Home were not granted dates. So China's just kind of like wiped their hands with Marvel. They said, we are done with this particular group. And I don't know if Marvel's been, or Disney, in this case, I think Disney has been making the right moves around how they've been producing this. But nevertheless, China has not played ball. They are like, look, you guys can do whatever you want to do. You know, we're not with this. Whatever it is that you're showing, they're done with it. T, talk to me about it. What do you think is the situation with China? And should Marvel just kind of give up on this and say, hey, man, you know what? We're never going to get anything into China.
They're not going to give up on it. They just don't know how edit it in a way
Yeah.
that is going to be, they're a very censored country. I've never been there, but from
Mm-hmm.
what I hear, very, very censored. I told you earlier about, hey, how V for Vendetta took 5 years for it to come out there,
Mm-hmm.
and they finally released it out there. V for Vendetta, which came out in '05,
Yeah.
took them 5 years to censor down enough, and they removed it at the start of the pandemic
Yeah.
because they don't want any kind of uprising, any kind of no, nothing at all. Hey, look, I am your daddy. No, no.
But it
And
seems
the
like
people,
Disney don't want to edit their films to make it Chinese friendly. So it's like if you're not going to edit your film to make it Chinese friendly, then just all right, whatever, we done.
well, I don't know where, I don't know, where knockoff purses and knockoff things come from. So, why would we want to do with that? Hey, that's the thing.
I mean, just for the standpoint of they've gone out of their way, like I said, they've gone out of their way to really play nice in China. Remember Mulan? They shot Mulan in China, right? They tried to be real.
terrible.
Yeah, but remember they shot it in China, and they played nice with China. Hey, okay, we're gonna bring our film, we're gonna put our production over here, and all of this other kind of stuff. Even though there was a lot of controversy behind that, it just seems that Disney and China just don't have that right connection for whatever reason. And now it's coming out that Marvel is not able to, get itself put together. So now here's what we're looking at. We're looking at a Disney. That's really unfortunately not going to be able to put anything, and that's $100 million plus I'm thinking that they're missing out on each film that they're not able to get inside of that country. $100 million is a ton of money. T, what do they need to do?
They need to stop focusing on and go to Africa or country, put that, hey, we'll invest $100 million in movie theaters and inject an economy. There's other countries that like movies besides this country. Let them figure that out, make their own version of Marvel, do their own thing. That's called, yeah, they can do anything else they want to do. It's not necessary to have them. It's an added bonus, but it's not
Right.
necessary to have the wheelhouse. Do you appreciate them as fans? It's unfortunate that people miss something there, but that's their rules. That's their country. You can do what you want to do when you run the country like they do. It's operated very differently than America should, and they'll be okay. Shine.
You're starting to break up. T, say again.
The sun is gonna shine. They're gonna make products and do what they do, but they'll be okay. There's no Marvel.
Yeah, I'm sure China's going to be all right. I'm sure that's not a problem for them. I'm more or less looking at.
They're not forgetting. Hold on, D. They expect China to have amnesia based on, oh, that happened last year. That was just that year. I just told you about a movie that it took them 5 years to release, and then they took it off during the beginning of the pandemic because
Yeah.
hey, they don't want any uprising at all. I don't want to give the people no strength.
Nothing.
Don't even
Nothing.
talk about any
No
kind
ideas of it. Yeah. No,
No.
you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. So that's why I keep saying this from the standpoint that maybe this is time that Marvel just kind of says, you know what? We're going to keep making the movies that we want to make. Disney's going to keep making the movies that they want to make. And, maybe China's just not in our plans, because you can read right here. It says here, and it's talking about, how, with Black Widow's depiction of communism, the Eternals, Chloe Zhao, some comments that she made, Shang-Chi star Simu Liu, also some comments that he made. They've been making comments. People's been talking, and, China just keeps shutting them down one after one after another.
You can't even talk over there. Come on, man.
Man. Yeah, that's the way it is in China. So I think at some point in time, Disney and maybe even other countries in this, they'll just start saying, you know what, China is China. If they want to see our films, great, but we're just going to keep doing us. And let the chips fall where they may.
I admire their stance on things, and they're not budging from it. That I can admire. I admire everything that they are trying to say. They're sticking with it. And when I say admire, I'm saying, man, they really are not moved.
They're principled. Yeah, they're principled people. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're principled. I may not like it, but wow, man, like It's no.
I mean, from my standpoint, I don't agree with their principles at all. But yeah, they're not going to budge off of what they say, and it would be nice if Disney and Marvel and those guys just stop placating and saying, okay, well, you know what, then that's it. We're just done dealing with it, and that's it. Moving on, instead of trying to, well, let's change this, let's change that, let's move this here, let's move that there, to try to make this as palatable to China as possible, just to get that $100 million. That's a billion people over there. They're not going to be able to see a Marvel film. Well, they'll still see the movie. Now let's not get this twisted, folks. Let's not get this twisted.
Well, over there they
still gonna watch the movie, okay? Just Disney not gonna make no money off of it.
Did anything else? I mean, like, it just depends, man. Look, like we just said, their principle, dude, they're not budging, dude.
Yeah, they ain't gonna budge, and that's fine with me. But I feel like at some point in time over on this side, hey, let's not kind of placate to these cats. They're done with us, okay? Let's just keep making the movies that we want to make for our folks, and then if other countries want to watch it, so be it. That's what they're going to do. But in terms of China, because like I said, they've always kind of tried to cozy up. Hey, kind of, how y'all doing? Try to cozy up to them, put their arm around them, talk nice to them, and trying to just be like, yeah, two middle fingers. Yeah, we ain't doing this. Do whatever you want to do, and it's like Disney keeps coming back to that well. So I don't know, but anyway, T, any last words on that?
It's a shame, man. I hope you guys get to see the movie.
They'll see it. They'll see it. Like I said, there's lots of ways to see movies that they got over there. I've talked to a few cats. It's like, it ain't gonna be a problem. Don't even worry about it. All right, folks. But what is your comments on this? What's that?
I'll report on it then. I don't understand.
Well, I think the thing is because it's more of the movie industry, and how they're trying to placate to these particular countries.
If anything, the world is finding out, D, which we knew a long time ago. Yeah. There's more money that's being told.
Oh yeah. I mean, like this movie's not going to be shown in Saudi Arabia either because of America Chavez. They're not going to show it over there. America Chavez is, I think she's a lesbian or something or bisexual, and they're like, we're not showing this movie over there. So other countries look at things a little bit differently, and I think they're kind of right on that. If you want to make the movie you're going to make, but understand that there's going to be countries over here, countries over there. They're just not going to mess with it.
We're not into that. They're saying, hey, that's not our laws. We're not into that.
We don't do that. Yeah, yep, there it is. All right, folks, but let me know what you think. Go ahead, jump down in the comments and let me know what you think about this particular subject. All right, T, that's going to do it for us. We've reached all 6 topics, all of them out the way. Movies with the Homies, episode 12 has come to an end. This was a rough one, man. We had all kind of moving parts here going on. This day was a rough one, but I'm glad we got through this and got this show out there. T, any last words, any last thoughts for the folks at home?
For the folks at home, look, our topics are great topics. You should do your research. That's why D puts up what's happening, where you can find the articles from. Plus, hey, help us out. Give us a like, subscribe. I guarantee you're going to like it. It's better. It's better than what you hope for. Some of our topics, man, we go all in. Some of it we just do a soft blow, man. But we're going to get better at it, man, especially when I put my channel too. But check out Derek's things that he posts through the weeks, man. It's awesome, man. I'm always giving a thumbs up. Hopefully I'm being joined by people. I see it. I can't wait for the channels to grow as a whole, man. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really appreciate it as well, folks. You guys know me. I'm always going to appreciate the new subscribers, the folks that's really out there supporting me, giving me likes, giving me comments. Helps out a whole lot. We're going to start doing some different things. I'm going to try to feature a comment of the week, something that kind of trickled through all the various comments that you guys leave. So if you have a good topic or a subject that you want to talk about and that is related in any way to any of these topics, go ahead and drop that into the comments, and then I'll definitely check that out. Me and Tia talk about it, and if it works out, hey, we'll respond to it right here on Movies with the Homies. All right, but that'll do it. I do want to thank all of the new subscribers. I think you guys are doing a great job. Some of y'all are really pushing my information out there because I'm seeing subscribers coming in left and right, so you're sharing it with your friends, and that means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. All right, T, that'll do it for us, folks. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
See ya.